Hey there, it's Lucky Piano again, and today we are going to cover the last lesson in the fundamentals of learning how to play piano by ear. Congratulations on making it so far, and hopefully what I've covered in the previous lessons hasn't been too difficult for you to follow. And if it has been, then don't worry about it, because there are plenty of online resources out there which will teach you the things that I'm trying to teach you at a much better sort of understanding and depth that I have provided. Now the main reason is because I'm not here to teach you how to play piano. I'm here to just kind of give you an insight of what is required of you before you can learn how to play piano by ear, and also how these sort of fundamentals relate to actually learning how to play by ear. So the final thing that I want to mention today is finger dexterity. So when you think of a good pianist and a bad pianist, you sometimes think about this in terms of how fast their fingers can move, and for good reason. When you start off, you might play something simple like which isn't very difficult compared to something like Now, fortunately for you, you won't really ever have to play something as difficult as that, because for the most part, pop songs or rock songs are dictated by the singer. So your right hand will generally be playing what the singer is singing, and when you compare the speed at which a hand can play different notes on a piano, compare it to how fast a singer can change notes with their voice, generally speaking, the hand's going to win. And if it doesn't, then, you know, your hands must be pretty slow, which I assure you is not the case for you. So, the right hand is generally restricted by that, and therefore you won't really ever have to play sort of passages as difficult as you would expect in classical or in jazz. But your left hand on the other side is not restricted because it's playing bass. It's not restricted by the voices. So because of that, your left hand has more potential to do more. I mean, a perfect example here would be my Warriors cover from Imagine Dragons. So here I play something like You get the idea, right? That left hand was playing a lot more than my right hand. So your left hand still has to do finger dexterity stuff. And another example would be sort of in instrumental solos. Your right hand may be required to do more, especially in rock solos. So for example, in Sweet Child of Mine, Slash does this incredible solo where he does something like Now that passage took me quite a while to learn, and I still don't think I've got it. So that's another example of where your right hand might be required to have such high dexterity. For the most part, you probably won't be required to do that much, but it's a good idea to, up your finger dexterity so that it is easier for you to play whatever you need to set out to play. Now, there are various ways that you can use to sort of, improve your finger dexterity. Some, which are better than others, such as scales. Remember the sort of, I believe it was the second lesson where we learned about scales? Well, one of the reasons why I taught you that, right, was because scales are used in pop songs or rock songs or any sort of song, even classical and jazz, because you're going to come across them no matter what. You might as well get good at playing them fast, right? Or having good control over it. So going from playing to that will make it so much easier when you do have to do those sort of fast passages or fast transitions between scales. Now the other thing that you really should learn is arpeggios. So before, when I told you about chords, about triads, arpeggios are basically breaking up repeated triads. So you do, and that is the reason why sometimes they're called broken chords. Now these are very useful because in the lesson where I taught you about triads and how I broke it up, a lot of the times I'm playing arpeggios with my left hand to make things interesting. Even if I just did sort of this, that's already more interesting than. But in many other cases, the techniques that you use to create patterns in your left hand are based off arpeggios, because arpeggios are based off triads, but they're so much more interesting to listen to because they transition from one note of the triad to another, and that is exactly what you do when you play piano by ear, is that you try to connect one note of a triad to another, and so arpeggios are basically crucial. Now, the other thing is, there's this great resource out there called Hanon. Now, Hanon is a pretty basic sort of finger dexterity exercise set that most piano teachers generally will recommend. So you start off with preparatory exercises where they give you sort of various passages to play that will slowly increase your finger dexterity, where you do something like... And then you move on to sort of more complicated things. So let's see if we move on to number 25, it does something like... And then you want to do it to the point where it's fast and easy. And then it pretty much includes everything that I was telling you before. It's got the scales, it's got the arpeggios, and it's got various other exercises which will all help you to develop your finger dexterity. And overall, I mean, even if you're not just doing this to play by ear, learning how to have better finger dexterity will help you overall as a pianist in general. So that's it for today. To summarize everything, finger dexterity is important. It makes playing piano so much easier for you, and there are various ways for you to learn it. So firstly, do scales. Secondly, practice your arpeggios. And thirdly, consider purchasing or looking up Hanon online and practicing his exercises to improve your finger dexterity and become a better pianist overall. Congratulations on finishing the fundamentals of learning how to play piano by ear. Hopefully, you now have the skill set required to actually play piano by ear, and I look forward to seeing you in that series. See you later.